quite a bit of time looking at pictures of hate organizations, Hitler, Nazis, MAGA, Proud Boys, all that stuff all day long.
So yeah, he groups together hate organizations, Hitler, Nazis, MAGA. So that's kind of how the moderators are conditioned to think. So the policy is called dangerous individuals and organizations. So in that same list, there's also terrorists.
All right, welcome back, everybody. That was a Project Veritas video with Facebook content moderators talking about how they target hate groups and dangerous organizations. Did you notice? They listed Hitler, Nazis, and all of you who support President Donald J. Trump, along with terrorists. You heard that correctly. This is how Facebook looks at all of you. They put MAGA in the same category as Hitler and Nazis and terrorists. Project Veritas got them on tape talking about how the company is bigoted against conservatives and is censoring conservative voices. For more on this, we're joined now by the founder and CEO of Project Veritas, James O'Keefe. Sir, thanks for taking the time. It's one thing to know this is going on. It's quite another to have Facebook employees admit it so brazenly that this is what they're up to.
Yeah, the videos clearly show them talking about doing all the things we suspect them of doing, targeting people for their political views, banning MAGA people. There's clearly a line in the sand in this country where a lot of people are saying that these companies are doing too much, and one other side is saying they're not doing enough to censor. And these are the Facebook moderators. These are the content moderators hired by Cognizant, in their own words, talking about the importance of deleting MAGA people for terrorism, one content moderator said from Facebook. This comes in contradiction to what Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, says under oath, that they do not censor or they do not contain any bias. Clearly, there is an institutional bias inside Facebook.
Now, we're seeing this happening on the macro, out in the real world. All of these people taking to the streets and destroying America are saying, oh, America is racist. Thus, we get to shred the Constitution and throw away people's rights. The microcosm on the Facebook level, they're basically saying, oh, yeah, anybody who supports Donald Trump is a Nazi and a fascist. Thus, we get to shadow ban them, or we get to kick them off our platform. It is my opinion they're doing this to stop communications, Mr. O'Keefe, in a wartime scenario, because that's what you do. You disrupt communications. I don't think they want us to share ideas ahead of a crucial election. Am I off base here?
Well, I think you just quote Facebook in their own words from 2016 when the results of the 2016 election had proved that Facebook had failed in its mission. That's what Facebook said publicly after 2016. So yes, this is an election year strategy. But going back to the contents in these tapes, these moderators saying that they police MAGA supporters, this insider that came to us, this whistleblower, Zach was his name, and he said the algorithm that chooses the posts for the moderators to police targeted Republicans by an 80% margin. So the machines were literally flagging content that was of a Republican nature. And people say, well, they're a private company, they can do what they want. Well, they're a private company, but in many ways, this private company has more power than all three branches of government. In fact, we can't see any information unless it's been filtered through these companies. We don't, even the stuff on cable news gets spread mostly through the filters of these companies. So you have two heroic whistleblowers inside Facebook who have come public. Ryan and Zach are their names. They both testified to the bias. They've recorded their colleagues. And now we want more to come forward. Our email address is behind us. ProjectVeritas.com/brave is where, if you're a whistleblower, you can come public. We'll give you a camera. We'll tell your story. We'll even pay your legal bills if you get sued. None of these people have been sued by Facebook. Interestingly enough, I don't think Facebook wants to draw any attention to the matter, but Facebook did fire one of their HR people. Leslie Brown was a woman that was on camera saying that they have a profiling. They don't defend white people. They sort of target white people, and she was subsequently fired by Facebook for saying those statements.
Wow. All right. Last very quick question. Do you believe that Facebook has legal exposure, antitrust exposure, at least maybe truth in advertising, that they've broken laws, in your belief?
Well, I think it's illegal to lie under oath. It's a felony to commit perjury. If I lied under oath, I'd be prosecuted. If you lied under oath, about Newsmax's business proceedings, you'd be prosecuted. But I think that they are exempt from being held accountable because both we have weak and spineless members of our political class, and also because they're a $1 trillion company. And I would never be being prosecuted. So they have to be held accountable. I think there's a hearing coming up shortly, and we know that these whistleblowers will be hopefully called to testify.
Hopefully. James O'Keefe, thank you very much, man. Appreciate the time and the good work you guys do at Project Veritas.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing news channel, now in 65 million homes. Get Newsmax TV on all the major cable systems or go to newsmaxtv.com and click on the Find Newsmax tab to locate us. Remember, Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.